Can you smell that? That is the smell of fear leaving the building and pure adrenaline taking its place. The Premier League is coming to the Racecourse. Nottingham Forest, under the lights, and everyone has been asking the same terrified question all week. Do we have the legs? Do we have the weapons to actually hurt a top-tier side? Because let's be honest, you don't go into a gunfight with a spoon. You need your heavy artillery. You need your speedsters. And just when the anxiety was starting to peak, just when we thought we might be going into this short-handed, the football gods have decided to smile on North Wales. We have received a massive double boost that changes the entire complexion of this Friday night clash. It's not just good news, it's a potential game changer. The cavalry isn't just coming, it's already at the gates.
Let's get the context right before we lose our minds over the player news. This isn't a normal week. The Stock Kai race is going to be absolutely bouncing on Friday night. Phil Parkinson, the gaffer, is facing Premier League opposition for the first time in his reign here. That is massive. That is a statement. But here is the reality check. Nottingham Forest are quick. They are physical. The gap between the leagues isn't just about skill, it's about athleticism. To compete with that, to actually give them a bloody nose and not just turn up for the occasion, Wrexham needs its most athletic, dynamic players available. We have been grinding out results. Look at the win against Derby, brilliant stuff. But the squad has been stretched. Injuries, international duty, it takes a toll. You look at the bench sometimes and think, who changes this game if we go 1-0 down? Well, that worry is about to evaporate, because the update coming out of the training ground this morning is the kind of stuff that makes you want to run through a brick wall. It's the injection of quality we have been screaming for since the start of January.
Let's talk about speed. Let's talk about the man who can turn defence into attack in the blink of an eye. Issa Kabore. The 24-year-old right wing-back has been a massive miss. Since November. Can you believe it's been that long? A hamstring injury on international duty, then off to the Africa Cup of Nations with Burkina Faso. We haven't seen him in a Red Dragon shirt for what feels like an eternity. And let's be real, we have missed that explosive overlapping run. We've missed that chaos he creates. But here is the twist. Burkina Faso were knocked out of the AFCON. They lost 3-0 to Ivory Coast in the last 16 earlier this week. Now obviously we feel for Issa. You never want to see a player heartbroken for his country. It's a tough blow for him personally, but for Wrexham, for us, it is an absolute blessing in disguise. Parkinson confirmed it. Issa Kabore is flying back. He is due back in Wrexham on Friday. The timing could not be more dramatic if you wrote it in a Hollywood script. Just as the Premier League giants roll into town, our speed merchant returns to the fold. Now, hold your horses. Don't go painting his name on the starting team sheet just yet. This is where the gaffer earns his money, and this is the detail you need to pay attention to. Parkinson said, Issa will be back in Wrexham on Friday, so obviously I'll catch up with him. But here is the golden nugget, the piece of information that matters more than anything else. Parkinson added, I think the important thing is he came through his cameo at the end of the game unscathed, and I think that is key for us. Unscathed, that is the word of the day. He played for Burkina Faso on Tuesday. He got minutes, he tested the legs, and he didn't break. That means he isn't coming back to the rehab room, he is coming back to the squad list. However, Parkinson is being smart, he's playing the long game too. So we need to see him, have a chat with him, and then build him up gradually for the next couple of weeks. Does that mean he doesn't play Friday? Not necessarily, but it probably means he's an impact weapon off the bench. Imagine this scenario. 60th minute, Forest defenders are getting a bit leggy. The crowd is roaring, and on comes Kabore, fresh, fast, and desperate to prove a point. That is a nightmare for any opposition, Premier League or not. It gives us an out ball. It gives us pure pace.
But wait, there is more.
If Kabore provides the speed, we need the hammer. We need the physical presence to bully those centre-backs. We need Kieffer Moore. The Welsh striker has been out since the Preston win on December 29th. Hamstring again. These hamstring injuries are a curse, aren't they? He missed the wins at Blackburn and Derby, and let me tell you, while we won those games, you could see we missed that focal point. That ability to hold the ball up, to win the aerial duels, to relieve the pressure when the opposition is pinning us back. Against the Premier League side, you cannot just pass around them for 90 minutes. Sometimes you need to go long. You need to bypass the press. And for that, you need more. Parkinson dropped a massive hint that the big man is nearly ready. Kieffer is making really good progress, and he joined in part of the training with the lads on Thursday and is in on Friday for further assessment. Training with the lads, that is huge. He's not running laps on his own, he's in the mix. He's feeling the grass, taking the bumps. A 33-year-old veteran like Moore knows his body. If he's training the day before a game of this magnitude, he's pushing for involvement.
Why does all this matter? Why am I hyping up two players who might not even start? Because of what Parkinson said about Freshness. We just played Derby on Sunday, a 2-0 win, a gruelling, emotional win that takes it out of the legs. Now we have Forest on Friday, that is a short turnaround. Parkinson explained his philosophy for this match. In a cup game or league game, it will be along the same lines as what we've been doing over Christmas in terms of looking at a bit of freshness in the team. I think that'll be important. Freshness. That is code for rotation. That is code for I need legs that haven't run 12 kilometres 3 days ago. This opens the door wide open. Whether it's Moore coming in to give Mullin or Fletcher a breather, or Kabore coming onto the flank to replace a tired wing-back, these returns give Parkinson options. Without them, we're asking the same group of players to go to the well again and again against elite athletes. With them, we have a squad. We have depth.
Let's stop kidding ourselves. Nottingham Forest are the big dogs. They're coming to the Racecourse expecting a stroll in the park. But since when does the FA Cup give a toss about who's supposed to win? This competition lives for the moments where the script gets ripped to shreds. It lives for heart. It lives for the Red Dragons. The gaffer knows exactly what's at stake. Phil Parkinson isn't just tossing shirts in the air and hoping for the best. No, he's obsessed with the balance. He's been drilling the lads, making sure they're sharp but fresh. You need that steel at the back, the same grit that shut out Derby. But you also need that spark, that bit of magic that makes the fans roar. And here's the kicker. Moore is back in the mix. You think Forest defenders are looking forward to that? Not a chance. They're in for a proper physical battle, a 90-minute scrap where they won't get a second to breathe. But look, it gets even better. Having Kabore back in the building, that's massive. It's not just about his feet, it's about the mood. It sends a surge through the whole dressing room. It tells every single player out there, help is here. We're not just making up the numbers. Do you feel that? That's the belief. That's why we love this game. Forest might have the status, but do they have the stomach for a night like this at our place? We'll see. We'll bloody well see.
So, where does this leave us? It leaves us in a position of strength. A week ago, I was looking at this fixture thinking we might get overrun here. Now, I'm looking at it thinking we can hurt them. We have the tactical discipline Parkinson has drilled into them. We have the momentum of the Derby win. We have the Stockkai Ras factor, which, let's be honest, is worth a goal start on its own. And now we have key personnel returning at the critical moment. Is Kabore going to start? Probably not. Is Moore going to play 90 minutes? Unlikely, but having them on the team sheet, having them on the bench, having them ready to enter the fray, that is a massive psychological boost for the fans and the players. Friday night, under the lights, the Premier League comes to Wrexham,
and the Red Dragons are getting their claws back just in time. This isn't just a cup tie, lads, this is a war, and we are bringing our soldiers home. What do you think? Would you risk throwing Moore straight back in, or do you save him for the league? And Kabore, straight on the bench, or give him a week? Let me know, because the gaffer has a big call to make, and frankly, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. But I am buzzing for this.